as always, Ted, kicks off. Who do you have as your winner of the week?
I had to go with Matt Rhule. The way he handled the Scott Frost deal. Scott Frost went scorched earth at his opportunity at Media Day, talking about his time at Nebraska. And, I wondered how Rhule was going to treat it and, what might he say about the job. And it didn't go how I thought, but I thought he handled it really well. He I, I did not expect him to say this was not a good job when we got here. you know, um, that was kind of surprising, but he had all the opportunity in the world to hammer Scott Frost for saying what he did and talk about how his time there's been totally different and all of that. But, he laid it out, talked about how difficult of a position Scott Frost was in both, during his time there, after his time there. Said, hey, we just put up a huge picture of Scott Frost in our facility this offseason and, talked about a lot of the work that they've done since he's taken over and how, far behind they were in a bunch of different avenues. I don't know. I just thought he handled it really well, which you would expect from Rhule. I mean, he's really good at that type of stuff.
Uh, a close friend. We had this. I like to do like tabletop topics at big dinners, but just one question. And one time we did, what's the best piece of advice you've ever gotten? And our friend Megan said, you'll never regret taking the high road. And that has stuck with me ever since that day.
Yeah.
And I feel like Matt Rhule, he could have gone two different ways with this. He could have absolutely buried Scott Frost and said he was an idiot and that he disrespected that fan base and those players and that program. How could he do this? That's not what he did.
Right.
He went the other way with it. Like, hey man, I get it after my experience with the Carolina Panthers. He's right. We were behind in NIL and facilities and all these different things when I took this job over. It wasn't a good job. He it felt like he extended an olive branch to Scott Frost. And by doing that, almost told the fan base, like, hey guys, let's calm down about this whole thing. Like that's how it felt to me.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm not surprised because Matt Rhule is the man.
Yeah.
Like
I
he
thought it, I thought it was really well done. You could have taken all of the headlines in college football with some type of, big comeback about, how what it's looked like for him there. And it could have gone a bunch of different ways. And I should not have been surprised the way he handled it. And I thought, what you said, you're never regret taking the high road. That's well said. And I don't know. I think he came off as I I don't know. I thought he just handled it brilliantly, honestly.
it it reminded me of how good of a people person Matt Rhule is. Do you remember when we'd watch him pregame
Oh my God.
before we'd play
Hey,
Baylor?
I watched him for an hour walk around the field and talk to like 500 different people. The security people, the ball boy, just everyone. It was impressive.
Me?
Yeah.
Come over and talk to me. And I was doing, I was interviewing him on Big 12 radio every once in a while, but he's just he's a people person, man. And I just thought that was what he said at Big Ten Media Days, which is in Las Vegas. Because okay, sure,
Yeah,
I
that was good.
yeah, that was strange, but I thought it was a great representation of what I've seen him be as a coach and as a person, like with my own eyes. Now I've never played for the guy, I haven't been in those walls, but everything he does publicly that I've seen, everything he says publicly, just seems like a great dude that cares about the people around him. And I don't know what type of relationship him and Scott Frost have, but he took care of Scott Frost with what he said at Big Ten Media Days. He could have buried the guy. He could have said what Scott said was idiotic. He didn't do that.
Yeah. And then he said that, it was a complicated deal with Frost taking that job, and he knew it was the right job for him, right? I knew as soon as I met and talked with my wife that this was the right job for me. So yeah, just all around handled it perfectly.
Who do you have as your loser of the week?
All the coaches and commissioners and everyone out there right now during media days that continue to come after the SEC about scheduling. I think it makes everyone look incredibly dumb. And I'm not some waving the flag chanting SEC guy, but they're not going to convince anyone that because they play 9 games or whatever little thing that they do in scheduling makes their conference more difficult than the SEC. They're convincing nobody. They've got all these statistics that they dug out, which you can find a statistic to back you up on anything if you look hard enough. And I don't know, Cignetti, Indiana's had one decent football season in my lifetime, and Indiana's on the attack on the SEC. I mean, you got people in the ACC doing the same thing. What are we doing?
I don't know. It's all related to what the next version of the college football playoff is going to be. I I get that. I get politicking. I get that these coaches have all met with the commissioner, like, and been given, hey, these are kind of our talking points on this. Hammer this home. It'll make headlines. But you know what the silliest thing to me is? The biggest stories coming out of ACC media days and Big Ten media days are them talking about the SEC.
That's right. Yeah.
As opposed to them talking about their own conference and their own teams and their season, their upcoming season. They've taken their platform and made it about the SEC. And I feel like Greg Sankey is just sitting at his office at home going, excellent. Keep talking about us. Because you go look at the big headlines coming out of these other media days, and it's them taking a shot at the SEC and a discussion about it. And it shouldn't be that way. You should use media days to talk about your league and put the focus on your league. Instead, everyone's talking about what Cignetti said about SEC scheduling and what Rhett Lashlee said, which that made no sense. I don't know what Rhett thought he was accomplishing. I think Rhett's a really good coach. I think he's doing a really good job at SMU, but he was like, there's only been 6 champions in the SEC since 1964. That's not depth. That's top heavy. It's like, dude, 6 seems like kind of a lot, actually. Like, what are you talking about? Like, it's been weird, man. Everyone's talking about the SEC, and that's exactly what Greg Sankey and the SEC want.
Yeah, Cignetti saying that, we dropped the Virginia game because we figured we just adopt an SEC scheduling mindset. Listen, I like what he did in Indiana. There's a lot to like about him, but that is a dumbass comment.
Indiana, and I think I'm being nice. If you gave Indiana Florida's schedule 3-9,
yeah,
4-8, if you
at
gave
best.
them OU schedule 3-9, 4-8, they got beat by the only good teams they played last year. Like, I think Curt Cignetti is a heck of a football coach. Making Indiana one of the talks of college football is one of the better accomplishments I've seen from a college football coach in recent memory. But, dude, no one It's still Indiana. I mean, come on, man.
They're throwing out these like, oh, they play, whatever FCSTs. It's like you're not convincing anyone. Like on opening weekend, there's like six great SEC non-conference games. I mean, Notre Dame plays an SEC team in non-conference. Ohio State does. Michigan does. Miami, Florida State. I mean, you can go up and down the list of all of the great non-conference games out there. So it sounds incredibly stupid. And like I said in the beginning, they're not going to convince anyone. All they might do is have some people say, yeah, I bet he's probably right. I'm going to click on a SEC team and check out what their schedule looks like. And they're going to say, ooh, actually, let's try a different team. Now that one's doesn't work for my case. Oh, yeah, well, no, that one doesn't work either. So it's just dumb. And you're right. Everyone just keeps talking about the SEC.
Curt Cignetti just had the best season in the history of Indiana football.
Yep.
Maybe talk about that.
Yep.
Maybe talk, and I'm sure he did, but and he likes to make a headline. Let's be real. Like he's got some juice to him.
Yep.
But instead of people talking about how amazing that season was a year ago and how they're going to replace all the guys they lost, it's, oh, did you see him get the SEC with the scheduling comment? Like, nice.
Yep.
Like, congrats, I guess.
Pretty strange. I mean, here's their schedule from last year. Indiana, Florida International, Western Illinois, UCLA, Charlotte, Maryland, Northwestern, Nebraska, Washington, Michigan State. I mean, they played Michigan and Ohio State late, and then they finished with Purdue. Like, that's a bunch of nobodies. It's crazy that guy would get up there and talk about anyone else's schedule when he benefited from an incredibly easy schedule a year ago.
What he should have said, what the truth is, because this was about them calling off the series with Virginia, right? What he should have said is, last year we found out we can play no one in the non-conference and win a bunch of games in the Big Ten and make the college football playoff. So we're going to continue to do that because last year we found out that formula works for the committee. That's what he should have said. That's the truth. Not we're trying to do it like the SEC teams do it. He knows that's not true. What is true is, hey, last year the schedule was really easy. We had a good team. We won a bunch of games and we made the playoff. And my bosses at Indiana really like that. So we're going to continue to do that. Like, that's the truth. So now he said something funnier and more entertaining than that, but that's what it is. Hey, until the playoff format changes and the way that the committee selects team changes, like, we're going to continue to do what we did in the 2024 season because I don't know if you know this, we made the college football playoff at Indiana.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just thought the whole thing is funny, and I don't know. It borders on ridiculous. So I imagine there's going to be more of that to come throughout the rest of the rest of the media days there at the Big Ten, but I'll continue to laugh. That's about it.
It appears it is the Big Ten versus everyone when it comes to the future college football playoff format. I'm at the point where, hey, if we stick with 12, okay, cool. I'm good. Fine.
Especially if the tweaks we made, after after last year, then yeah, it could work.
We'll see. Are you a 5 plus 11 or a 4-4-2-2-1 plus 3 guy? Where do you stand? People are asking the important questions. All right, let's get to my winner or loser. But first, three things matter in banking: service, service, and service. And First Fidelity Bank's commitment to exceptional service is more than a promise, it's their foundation. FFB has been by your side for over a century, and they are honored to be a part of your journey. Banking isn't about where you've been, it's about where you are headed. Open an account at an award-winning bank today at ffb.com. At First Fidelity Bank, we go where you go. And go to opolisclothing.com and use promo code TED for 10% off our podcast merchandise and the best OU gear out there. That's opolisclothing.com and use promo code TED. Buttery soft and 10% off. All right, for my winner of the week, collectives.
Yes.
They're back, Ted.
Just like that.
Just like that. What, the College Sports Commission stuck to their guns for 12 days, 11 days?
If that, yeah. Sounds
So
like pretty quickly there was even some backtracking.
So here's what happened. The CSC, the College Sports Commission, was feeling pressure from the House settlement lawyers, and they are backing off on rejecting deals between athletes and collectives, direct deals between those. So meaning they had come out and said an athlete can't do a deal directly with the collective. The collective has to find a third-party business and facilitate that relationship. And that's how that has to work. There has to be a valid business purpose. And the CSC said that collectives did not satisfy those terms. But they just came out and said, you know what, never mind. Because now an athlete can do a deal with a collective, and that can be, autograph signings, appearances, all these things that we've seen athletes do with collectives over the last several years. The only requirement it now has to meet when it goes through NIL Go is it has to be in the proper compensation range. What the proper compensation range is, that is to be determined. What fair market value is for a star quarterback showing up to something and signing autographs is to be determined. But big win for the collectives this week, Ted. Collectives live. Yay. Yeah. Rejoice.
Which, a lot of this was assumed, there was all going to be challenged and probably challenged quickly. Attorneys, as you put it, real early, are going to be the big winners in all this. I mean, not to say that they don't have a legitimate case. I think perhaps they do, but so much for everyone kind of agreeing that this current situation needs to be reined in.
The guardrails, the revenue sharing guardrails, I think they didn't go away. They just widened.
Back to no guardrails. Well, yeah, maybe wide.
Collectives now become very important when it comes to exceeding the revenue sharing salary cap. Now, a lot of people thought that was going to be the case anyways, so I don't really know what has changed. I guess if they start rejecting a bunch of these deals that these athletes do directly with collectives, then I would assume there's more legal cases coming.
It's going to be challenged. That's going to be challenged right away anyways. I mean, because they have to pick market value, but the market value is going to be decided in recruiting, isn't it? If a collective is a legitimate deal and collective A will pay a guy $100,000, but collective B will pay $150,000 and collective C will pay $200,000, aren't they setting the market value?
Indeed, they are.
So, I mean, I don't know how you can even challenge any of it. Well, but again, this is all legalese that I don't know. And are they an actual business? I don't know. I mean, that's kind of what they're ruling on now, but I mean, it has the feeling of, okay, we've fixed nothing.
That's definitely how it feels. It's like, oh, so it's the same system, but now the guys get the revenue share distribution.
We've just added a third party in there,
Yeah.
you know, to siphon off some of the funds.
I do think when I saw this, I go, okay, how does it affect OU? And remember last week, OU and Learfield announced that Sooner Sports Properties is going to be the exclusive centralized NIL marketing partner for OU. And so that Sooner Sports Properties is Learfield's local team when it comes to managing the multimedia rights for OU. And they're going to work with One Oklahoma, the collective. That all is going to merge. And that means OU's NIL operations are going to be under this single entity backed by Learfield. Now, full disclosure, Sooner Sports Properties is who pays me and you for all the OU stuff that we do. So I'm excited to see what SSP can do because of all the relationships that they have established and how that can benefit the athletes as they partner with One Oklahoma and try to find, just talking about football, trying to find these guys some more deals and trying to, let's be real, exceed the revenue share cap to where OU is in more enticing place to come play. I mean, I feel like that's the collective's role, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. And, getting the feeling talking to people as this was all coming down, like there was a lot of hope perhaps that the guardrails would work, but I don't think everyone, I never got the feeling that OU was, just waiting to see, like they've been gearing up, expecting something like this to occur. At least it feels that way to me.
Yeah, I think they knew the clearinghouse was paying extra attention to payments just coming directly from collectives.
Mm-hmm.
And they decided, hey, if we just make this all one thing, I mean, what are they going to say? Oh, you went out and worked this deal and for this guy into one of your corporate partnerships? Like, that's not legitimate. Sooner Sports Property is going to go, what are you talking about?
Sooner Sports Properties is a legitimate business. There's no way that you can get around that.
Yeah. So, and I will say, John Mateer got some big time deals coming his way. Very exciting stuff.
Nice.
Over these next couple weeks. So you can do deals with One Oklahoma, and they've got, their own logo and all that type of stuff. So it's just going to be interesting to see what Bobby Nash, who has been hired to come in and enhance the whole operation there at One Oklahoma. It'll be interesting to see how creative they can get and what they can do for these football players to try to sweeten the deal, if you will.
Yeah.
I don't know. It feels like all of it merging into one thing will be an overall positive for these football players because you've got these established relationships and now people know, hey, if I want to, now you can still do deals with guys directly, like in their representation, but if you want to build it into an overall OU deal, like now you go to SSP and say, hey, let's work Mateer into this overall marketing package we're doing.
Right. Which makes a lot of sense.
It's probably important to note that SSP controls all of the OU marks. So if you want to use Mateer in an actual OU jersey, like you got to go through them. So
Yeah. I mean, I I hope that I hope it works out well and we can continue to compete. But like the thing that you know, maybe worry isn't the right word to use. The thing that frustrates me is it's it's still currently a sport that's going to be driven by how much money can you raise, not like how good are your coaches at recruiting, how good are your coaches at developing. Like it becomes a money game, and it's hard to compete in that with some schools just where people are located. I mean, thank goodness that Oklahoma has had as much success they have in the past, and they've developed those good relationships with some of those big national clients that they can tap into. But I mean, there's some schools that are not going to have that ability, and it's got to come from like donors and stuff, and that's really hard. Yeah, you could do it for 1 or 2 years, but how are you going to come up with $30 million in extra NIL money for the next 20 years? That's hard to do.
honestly, this system favors the Big Ten. Massive alumni bases for a lot of those schools.
Mm-hmm.
When you just got more people, you got more money. A lot of those campuses are not too far from like massive cities.
Yep.
It this is it benefits the Big Ten and it strains a lot of the SEC schools
Yep.
because of the size of the alumni base and just the size of the towns some of these SEC schools are in.
If you aren't the flagship of your state, you got problems.
Oh yeah.
Like Auburn's in a small town and Alabama's the flagship there. I mean, it's going to be very hard for them to, because you're competing for the same dollars in a lot of avenues, and it's just going to be difficult.
Everyone is now looking for ways to exceed the revenue sharing cap. And OU having their marketing arm and corporate sponsorship arm as part of this overall strategy for One Oklahoma. Now, it just feels like a good way to do it. We'll see how it
Yeah,
goes.
I mean, it does feel like it is. They're trying to build what is a sustainable model
Yeah.
instead of just going out and beating down donors.
Here's to hoping that it helps the Oklahoma Sooners build a really, really good roster. Come on, guys. You can do it. My loser of the week. Apparently, $200 million can't buy you much, Ted. Memphis.
I can't wait to hear what you say about this because I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Big
Memphis
12 has
offered.
tried to add almost anyone that is willing to come to the conference, and then someone comes with $200 million, and they're like, "No, thanks."
And they've said no thanks to Memphis a couple times now. So Brett Yormark, it can't be the oh guys, it's us, it's not you. No. It's definitely you, Memphis. They offer the Big 12 somewhere in the $200 million range to let them join the league. And they didn't even like have a formal vote on it. That's how little the Big 12 thinks of Memphis. That's gotta hurt, Ted.
I I was I was shocked by it. What, $200 million? They'll take no TV revenue for at least the time period,
For 5 years.
5 years.
So here, I've got the breakdown here. Most
Okay.
of the money was going to be from sponsorships. I think somewhere in like the $150 million range. They said they wouldn't take media rights money for 5 years. And I guess they were even willing to build into the contract that if the other schools in the Big 12 determined Memphis was not adding value to the league, they could vote them out in 5 years.
Get out of here. What am I missing?
I think Brett Yormark hates the city of Memphis. That's my I don't know, man. Because and I Memphis's head coach, Ron Silverfield, really good football coach. We were in Detroit together. Love that guy. Awesome guy. Has had a ton of success now there at Memphis. They've put a bunch
Great
of players
coaches
in
that
the
have
league.
won
Like they
there.
got a good team, man.
Yeah.
So I don't know. You tell me, you know, but like, why is Memphis? Why does the Big 12 not want Memphis at all?
I have no clue. I guess the only thing I could think of was if they're willing to throw all of this at us, if we say no, maybe they'll sweeten the pot. I, I have no idea.
Did
The, the,
you?
the Big 12 is like they're trying everything they can to create revenue. Well, someone's trying to hand you $200 million for 5 years. Take the 200, let them play for 5 years and kick them out.
Yeah.
I
What
don't know what I'm missing.
did you see? Ross Dellinger reported that Memphis's president has spent like the last 12 to 14 months lobbying the leaders in the Big 12 to try to build momentum for this, like before they sent their formal request for entry.
Jeez.
Talk about a waste of a year, man. Didn't even go to a vote.
Maybe he sucks at lobbying.
He's got to.
He
Got to be
needs to
bad.
hire a good sales guy.
I I would love the this is ridiculous that Memphis waited until after Big 12 Media Days to do this. You have to do it before and create pressure for Brett Yormark to address it and explain why publicly.
Yeah.
Hey, why are you not taking a free $200 million? I would have loved to hear why.
What are the chances that your Mark wanted it and whenever like the university presidents were just a hard no? Is there any chance of that? I mean, the guy's trying everything.
They did the deal with PayPal, right? For the I think like the revenue share
Talking
distribution
about playing
payments.
games in Mexico and all this stuff just to try and get more revenue. Well, someone's handing you more revenue. Take it.
Do you think it has to do with the fact that Memphis is good?
It shouldn't.
I Their last two seasons, 10-3, 11-2.
They should love that.
Or is it like, hey, we got enough problems in this league. We don't need another really good football team because that means we'll lose more games. I don't know. Are people still in that line of thinking? I don't know.
I don't know, but I have a feeling there's going to be another conference that's going to say, "Hey, about that $200 million."
I I respect the ambition of Memphis. They we still don't know what the final form of college football is going to look like, but it's clear Memphis wants to be in it. And I
Pac-12, here we come.
I respect the attempt.
Yeah, they can. It's clear that Memphis can see the writing on the wall that it feels inevitable. Maybe it's not 5 years, maybe it's not 10 years, but it feels inevitable that the Power Four is leaving the rest behind. And if it costs us $200 million now to have a future for the next 50 years, we better do it.
And they said, no thanks. That has to hurt. We'll give you 200 million to let us in. We won't take any TV revenue money, and you can kick us out if it ends up not being a good partnership. We're good.
I can't wait to hear the reasoning. Like I haven't seen anything that gives the Big 12 side at all as to why they said no. I'm fascinated. I, I was floored that they said no.
Memphis will stay in the American, which is no longer the American Athletic Conference, by the way. They got rid of that. It's no longer the AAC. It's the American Conference or the American, Ted. And I need you to put some respect on the conference mascot's name, Soar the Eagle.
How would it make you feel as a conference or a conference commissioner if one of your institutions is willing to pay $200 million to get out?
I'd be very sad, especially if I just rolled out an awesome mascot like Soar the Eagle. I did. I won't lie. I read way too much about Soar the Eagle. The conference motto. Do you know what the conference motto is now?
No.
Built to rise. Rise stands for revenue, innovation, sports, and entertainment. Yeah. The American, built to rise, all represented by Soar the Eagle, who is a jacked eagle, by the way. They did a good job making him, that's a muscled up eagle.
Well fed.
Oh, yeah. A lot of protein for Soar.
The American needs to start snuggling it up to Memphis.
No kidding.
Hey, you've been hiding these sponsors for a while. Maybe it's time we rise.
Soar the Eagle needs to be wearing a giant FedEx logo on his chest. I I don't hate the conference mascot, by the way. I don't like it, but I don't hate it.
That's a good place to start.
Yeah, it was like,
You
oh,
don't hate it.
everything else has a mascot. Why not? It's very innovative. This is the big stuff they're doing in the American, man. Memphis should be happy they're staying.
I don't know, man. I was in disbelief whenever I read that report.
As was I. But hey, I'm interested. I want to hear your Mark's reasoning or Big 12 president's reasoning or the athletic directors, whoever. We need answers. They've got to have a good reason. I don't know. Birthday shout outs.
Cincinnati, Memphis, I don't know. Wild.